Alright guys, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the section 2 of the past paper here. Jared wants to create a short animation that can be used to advertise Rock ICT. The first question that they're asking you is that the size must be set to 512 of width by 288 of height. So when you first open up Animate, you can pick any of the ones, the HTML or an action script. I'm going to go ahead and go with the action script for today. And then automatically over here, I'm going to change the size to 512. And then I'm going to go into the height. And I'm also going to change that to 288. Okay, now the second question that is asking you, the exam is telling you to set the background as black. Now what you probably want to do here, if you've noticed that already changed, is that you can double click here on the layer and you can just type in background so you don't get confused. And if they want it all black, you can actually change it directly here on the stage. And since there's not going to be any other changes besides black, you can keep it for the whole remainder of the animation. So for the first 2 seconds, and if you notice also the other thing is that the frames per second are set up to 24, which means that every 24 of these frames will equal to 1 second. To make it easy while we're in the animation or any kind of exam, let's just change that to 1. Okay? And what that means is that every single one of these little squares, each one of these frames will now equal to 1 second. It'll be easier for us to create an animation that way to control the timing. So for the first 2 seconds, we're just going to insert a keyframe. And then on the next stage it is asking us here is that the text rock must appear at the bottom left. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer and I'm going to call it rock. And then after 2 seconds, I'm going to insert a keyframe and I'm going to choose the text tool and it starts on the bottom left and I'm going to call it rock. Okay, now if you've noticed this particular text, it's supposed to be 24, the size, and the color is supposed to also be white. So I'm going to change that to white as well. Okay, alright, so here we have the text, at the bottom there, and if you wanted to double check and change that to a capital R, you can do it that way. Okay, here we go. Alright, perfect. Okay, so that's on the bottom left. It doesn't give any specific on what kind of text, but it just says it is 24 and it's white. Okay, so if you notice for the first 2 seconds, there's a black screen, and then the word rock kind of is appearing there on the bottom left. And we're also going to create a new layer, which is the next question, which is the word ICT. Okay, alright, again, on the second, I'm going to insert a keyframe because there's a movement, there's a change, something is happening, and I'm going to put in ICT, maybe all capital letters. Okay, and that is also size 24 and white. Perfect. That starts over here because if you notice on the question, it says the text ICT will appear on the top right corner. Okay, now the text rock and ICT must move from the corners to the center of the screen, that they are going to be side by side, and the timing for this will be 3 seconds. So since we've already changed the frames per second to be 1, we know that we can double click here, both of them simultaneously, insert a keyframe, and then what we can do is we can start moving both of these towards the center. Okay, and then insert another keyframe, and again move both of these towards the center. Okay, and there it is, 1, 2, 3, 3 seconds, now they're done. Now when they both move side by side, the next one, it says the letter R in rock must immediately, hit rock, turn red. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the last one that I created, I'm going to highlight the letter R, and I'm going to change that to red. Okay, exactly what they're asking you to do. Okay, the text should fully be visible for 2 seconds. So here we can just 2 seconds, and we're just going to insert a frame. Okay, there's no actual changes to it, so it just plays for 2 seconds. And then also after that, we notice that the text Rock ICT must then fade out, and that timing should do a total of 5 seconds. So this is a tricky question, because what we're going to do here is we're going to have to convert these into a symbol. So I right click and I convert it to a symbol. And then I right click here also and I convert it to a symbol. Now, why did I convert it into a symbol? Because for us to give the effect of fading, we must also change the color effects to alpha. Okay, so over here we can insert a keyframe, and we can go right over here where it says color effects and alpha, and it's telling us to slowly fade it away. So we can do here about 75%, insert the keyframe, click over here, fade it out a little bit more, click over here, insert a keyframe, fade it out a little bit more, all the way till we get to 5. And on the 5th one, it should be completely faded. And we're going to do the same thing with the word rock. Okay. Okay. While that's going on, let's look at the next question that was asked on the exam. Alright, so that's already done for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Okay. Next question that is asking us is that the word "the best" must appear in the center of the screen. So we create a new layer, go ahead and type in "the best." Okay, and that is going to appear after all of this has happened. So on this frame right here, we're going to insert a keyframe, go back to the text tool, and right in the center of the screen, we're going to type "the best." The best is supposed to be also 24 points and in red. Okay. Alright, so all we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that it fits on the screen. There it is, right in the center. Okay, and if you notice, the question is that it's going to fade in and out of the screen, and that must also be in 5 seconds. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert the word into a symbol. Okay, and then on the first one, since it's fading in, I'm going to go ahead and change the effects and slowly have it fade in. Insert a keyframe, fade in a little bit more, insert another keyframe, fade in a little bit more, and then it's going to now fade out. Insert a keyframe, start fading out again, and by the 5th second, it should be completely faded out. Okay. Alright, next question that is asking you is then to have the logo appear in the center of the screen. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and insert a new layer, and I'm going to call it logo. And right after everything has happened, we're going to insert another keyframe, and we're now going to place or import into the stage the logo. Okay, so here's the logo, and we can kind of like resize it so it's small in the middle of the stage. And all we're going to do here is the logo is going to get larger, and in 3 seconds it should fill most of the screen. So right over here we're going to insert a keyframe, and we're going to make it a little bit larger, and another keyframe, and make it large enough so it fits into almost the whole screen. Okay, alright, so that is the end of that. All it's telling you to do now is to check the smoothness of the animation. Make sure that it's 20 seconds long, so mine is about 19. And if you want to, just to make it perfect, you can just insert a frame, and now it's a perfect 20 seconds. And the only thing that it's saying that it should be looping. So at the bottom, you're going to click on the loop tool right there. Make sure it loops from 1 all the way to 20. And then you're going to export it to be able to play it on a website. So you go up to File, Export, As. You can even export it as a movie if you want. Okay, it can be an SWF movie. Or the other option is you can export it as a video. Okay. Or the last option, which I usually use, is you can export it as an animated GIF. and under the settings you're changing it to a HTML. Okay, so all we're doing here is we're changing it to a web template. Give it a name and click export. Alright, we'll save that to the desktop, click save, and just for us to verify, make sure that you put your name and candidate number as center number, and to double check the movie, just press Ctrl Enter, and you should double check that your movie was done correctly. And that is it. That is your ICT exam. Okay, enjoy it.